good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon. My name is Edward King, and this is a non-video audio production. It isn't much of a presentation, but it is a small production. And the reason I'm making it is because of something that I really think deserves some consideration. I think this deserves consideration not just by men, not just by women, but by all reasonable adults. And when I say reasonable, I mean, adults capable of reasoning. Not all adults are really that capable of reasoning. I exclude those. If you are one of those sorts of adults that cannot reason, please, this doesn't concern you, please move on. If you think you're a reasonable adult, stay tuned. I'll be short. It's January 7th, 2015, and early AM for me. Can't say precisely what time. I think maybe 7:08, maybe 7:07 when I started this. And I got to thinking, next month my father will be 77 years old. Now I can say that because I have his signed permission to say that. I have his signed written consent to share anything I like about my father on the internet. Of course, I don't really go out of my way telling everybody all the details of my father's life because I respect him. But those details do cross over into my life, and I have been spending a great deal of time with him. And so I do occasionally mention him and what's going on with him because he is experiencing a great deal of oppression in his life at this point from certain family members, and making his life a living hell, you might say. And that's most unfortunate. And they don't want me to say anything about it, of course, anything about their actions on social media, because, hey, why should the world know that an old man is being oppressed? Why should the world know that an old man, is being abused at the hands of his own family? But that's not what I called you people to reason on. Because when I spoke with the seniors advocate or elders advocates, they say this process is quite common. This is what people do to old people now. This is quite common for families to abuse old men and old women. And I guess my veneer of naivety or ignorance was stripped from me because I thought it was shocking. I found it to be shocking to learn how many times this happens, how frequently this happens, where a man's own family members turn on him when he's old and rob him of his dignity, his autonomy, and his sovereignty. It's a disgrace. And I never really considered, that might happen to me. That could happen to anybody. And so yes, I'm trying to help my father as best as I can in counsel, in terms of counsel, because my hands are tied, when it comes to any, action, I guess, or litigation or anything of that nature, because he went and he got his own lawyer, and so, I have to stay out of the way. I can't do any direct litigation. But I'm being attacked for it. I'm being blamed for it. It's being declared that my father's lawyer is my lawyer. No, he's not. He's certainly not my lawyer. In fact, personally, I think I would probably find a different lawyer myself, if it were my choice of lawyers, but that's me. One of the things that concern me is not only is my father, an older man, but the fact that he is a man. He's a man, okay? And I think that might have something to do with it. I'm not exactly sure how to approach my viewers with this, or my listeners with this. As I said, this is a non-video audio production, and I know that people like to go through their emails and stuff like that and listen to presentations on the internet, while they're gleaning through their emails and doing, more important work. And I respect that. And I expect, my viewers to do the same, because my viewers are not really my viewers. I'm hoping they're listening to what I'm saying. About a week ago, I put something up on my Facebook page, and I made the declaration repeatedly, and I have to stress this, repeatedly, over and over again. And I put up videos, and every time I put up the video, I would punctuate the video with a statement, and the statement was, men are dogs. And I kept repeating over and over again that men are dogs, men are dogs, men are dogs. Now I'm going to verbally declare to you this morning, January 7th, 2015, that men are dogs. Now here's the point. I didn't get one response on that. Not one peep. Not one answer. Not a thumbs up and not a protest. Nothing. No response whatsoever. Here's how the whole family members and general public tie into this. This is an appeal to your reason, people. I appeal to your reason. Nobody protested this. Nobody said anything against this. I said men are dogs. And I still stand by that statement, by the way. I still say men are dogs. But this is only part of what I'm declaring. Because over a year ago, I made the statement that women are whores. And oh my goodness, everybody was just right up in arms. I'll tell you, everybody was just on me for making this declaration that women are whores. You know what? I'm going to say it again. Women are whores. Alright? And if you know what a dog is, I'm telling you, a dog is not much better than a whore. Frankly, I think dogs are worse. I think dogs are worse creatures. But I'm not going to get into the details because I don't have a whole lot of time here to explain why I believe dogs are worse than whores. And if you're a real man, you should know why a dog is worse than a whore. All right. It is with heaviness of heart that I have to say the double standard is overwhelming. That a man cannot openly and publicly declare that women are whores, but it's just fine for a man to put down all men. Or, well, I didn't really put down all men, did I? I didn't put down all men. And here's the point. When I make the declaration that women are whores, I'm not saying all women are whores. I certainly didn't marry a whore. My wife isn't a whore. But women are whores nonetheless. And men are dogs nonetheless. But what just gets me, I'm just completely amazed. I mean, the brain bulks, people. The backlash that I received for the declaration that women are whores. Wow, society really doesn't like that. They really don't like that reality. Or at least exposing that reality. I'm going to say it again. Women are whores. I mean, I said men are dogs so many times, I may as well say that women are whores at least half as many times. People insert words. They add to things that they hear. And a little word like all will make a big difference. You take a sentence and you put the word all in front of it, and it changes everything. All right? It sort of goes back to the book of Genesis, where the serpent is in a dialogue with Eve. And the sentence is, Eve told the serpent that in the day that you eat of the fruit, ye shall surely die. Okay, and the only word that serpent changed in that sentence is he inserted an extra word. He attached another word. Ye shall not. The word is not surely die. Okay? Just adding one word to a sentence completely changed that sentence. Made it just the opposite of what Eve had declared to the serpent. Neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. I guess I'm trying to say here is that when you attach the word all to a sentence, you really change a lot of things. You really change the game. Alright? You'd be hard-pressed for me to catch me making the declaration that all women are whores. You'd be hard-pressed. I mean, I invite you. I would like to see you produce anything that I said, or anything that I typed online and social media declaring that all women were whores. You won't find it. I never said it. But my goodness, everybody's so offended. And I mean, I've got this. I have in my possession a copy of an affidavit wherein my sister declares that I stated that all women are whores. I did not state that. I did not say that all women were whores. I never said that. I'm not, if it ever comes to it, if I have to answer to a judge for it, I will certainly tell the judge I didn't say any such thing. No, I did not say that. I don't believe all women are whores. But I'm going to tell you, good listener, women are whores. Women are whores. Okay? And the exception only proves the rule. And the rule is women are whores. And the rule is men are dogs. And the exception only proves the rule. That's why it's called an exception. And that's why our society is such a mess. Because women are whores and men are dogs. Our social structure, our community, is weak and enslaved. Folks, we are being enslaved. I've lived long enough to see it. We are being enslaved by the images that we are inundated with on television, Hollywood productions, even social media, the radio, music. This culture is a sick culture. It's a very sick culture. And it is producing a generation of whores and dogs. Now, I mean, if you don't like what I say, I don't blame you. I hope you don't like what I say. I'm trusting you don't like what I'm saying. I'm praying to God you don't like what I'm saying. But that doesn't make it any less true. I'm hoping that, if any of you ladies, very rare kind of female individual, a lady, okay, ladies, if there's a lady listening, I'm hoping that you'll take it to heart and never be a whore, okay? Gentlemen, a very rare creature, not too many real gentlemen in the world, but if you're a gentleman, I think you'll understand what I'm talking about here. Am I being crass? Well, I suppose you could call that crass, but I'm being honest. I'm being forthright. I'm making a truthful declaration. I'm hoping and praying to God people will wake up and stop. Turn away from their whoredom. I'm hoping men will wake up and stop being dogs. Take responsibility for their thoughts, their own feelings, and their own actions. Because this has to stop, because society is really literally going to hell in a handbasket. And it's the little children, they're the ones that suffer the most. Because they don't even know what they're being shaped and conditioned for when they're being exposed to all these images and all this so-called culture. It's a sick culture. I just can't get over it. I mean, I wrote this on my Facebook page. I put it on YouTube. I had it all over the place. Men are dogs. And nobody stepped forward and said, hey, but not all men are dogs. The old NAWALT. Not all women are like that. There we are. We're pointing at the exception. Thank God for the exception. But we need to turn this thing on its head. It should be the other way around. The majority of women should be ladies. The majority of men should be gentlemen. But that's not the way it is. It's just the opposite. The inversion-perversion process is complete. The whole thing is stood on its head. Men are dogs, and women are whores. And all these men are whining about how these women have committed all these atrocities against them, how their wives are whores and their lovers are whores. Well, are you surprised? Stop whining, guys. Stop whining and be men. Man up. Gird your loins. Stand up and be men. There's a reason why there's so many whores in the world. It's because you guys are dogs. Stop it. Stop being dogs. Okay? You stop being dogs and take responsibility for your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own actions, and start setting a half-decent example. The women will fall in line. The women will realize, hey, I can't use this guy. I can't take advantage of him. Man, this guy is as tough as nails. He's looking for a lady. I better smarten up. I better change my game. I need to start acting like a lady. Now, as a reminder, because, I am greatly afraid that maybe women have forgotten what it means to be a lady. A lady is a woman who respects herself and respects her father's house. That's a lady. Okay, she doesn't give herself over to lewd behavior. There are women out there right now celebrating their sluttery. Literally. Marching through streets carrying signs. I'm a slut and I'm proud of it. God have mercy. But that's what this society is coming to. Think about the children. Think about what I'm saying. What a double standard. You can bash a man, no problem. You can bash him right into the ground. I could probably get away with the statement saying all men are dogs and nobody would even touch it. But boy, you don't say anything against the woman, huh? You don't expose, you don't dare expose the whoredom of women. What a double standard. What ridiculousness. Am I putting everybody down? Bashing everybody? I'll call a spade, okay? I will do my uttermost to call a thing what it is. North America is the land of whoredom. She's a great big whore. It's full of dogs. So I guess, if you want to say I'm putting everybody down, you can be inaccurate and you can lie. Because, I'll be the first to stand up and say not all people are like that. And how do I know that? Because I'm not like that. I'm not like that. I'm not after my brother's wife. I'm not the least bit interested in my brother's wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going out trying to find a quick thrill, a cheap fling. I haven't been like that since I was in my 20s, early 20s. When I woke up and I realized, man, I'm being a dog. I got to stop this. I don't want to be a dog. Thank God my father raised me with a conscience, and I came around. I mean, I'll level right now with you. Since the age of, 22, I've been with 2 women in my life, and they're both my legal wives. Both of them. Okay? I just want to be very clear about this. I was both with them legally, married them. Not just, a common law, but on paper. Legally. And yes, at least I'm honest. I am a bigamist. I do believe in being married to more than one wife. And yes, even at the same time. I think that should be an option open to all men. Men will stop being dogs. They'll get responsible. At least some men will. Other men still like to whore around, or dog around as it's called. Right? And so do women. But there it is. If you want to attack me for this, by all means, you go right ahead. I'll duke it out with you. You want to get into a big, long debate about this? I'm ready. I know from whence I speak. I maybe was born at night, but I wasn't born last night, right? I know what I've seen. And I'm telling you that this is the downfall of our system. This is the downfall of our community. This is the downfall of our society. It's called whoredom. And it needs to stop. And men need to stand up and say, I'm a man. And yes, Mr. Government, you can't tell me how many wives I can marry when those women are committed to me and my cause. You don't have the right to tell me how many wives I can have if those women are committed to me and to my cause. Our system is so perverse because this legalistic monogamy-only doctrine is destroying the fabric of a good and decent society. It should never be imposed upon a man how many wives he can have. That should never be imposed upon a man. Okay? It's not even in the premise, the whole foundation of our morality as a North American, as some call it, Judeo-Christian nation. Do your homework. It's not even in that book that they make you take oath by and swear to tell the truth. I don't advise you do that. I advise you affirm to tell the truth. It's not in the Quran that you must have only one wife. Okay? Unless you don't want to deal with your wives equitably and fairly and decently. Now that there is in the Quran. Anyway, there it is, brothers and sisters. I just hope you're listening, because I'm telling you, it's just amazing the onslaught, the attacks that I've been subjected to as a result of blowing the whistle and exposing a thing for what it is. The majority of women are whores. The majority of men are dogs. If I have to qualify it by saying that. If the majority of women are whores, I can get away with saying women are whores, okay? If the majority of men are dogs, I can get away with saying men are dogs. There you go. The exception only proves the rule. Anyway, you all have a great day. God bless you, and thank you for listening.